Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Vallen, and this is a vlog informing you of upcoming updates to the Mischief of Mice channel. So those that have been paying attention to it, you already know pretty much what's going on. We've got 3 different Let's Play series going on. I've got at least a couple bit by bits going up every week. Plus, got a couple, about 3 streams a week as well. Monday, Wednesday, Friday evenings. There's been a little bit of a skip though, and that is the Mischief Musings. Now I realize that it's something that I usually use to keep my sanity, so that I'm not, entirely Minecraft focused. And often it will sometimes highlight some really interesting, sometimes indie, sometimes a little bit more mainstream games. I've still got plenty in my backlog, but I worked through, I don't know, I'd say probably about a dozen or so of my backlog Mischief Musing potentials, and none of them really passed. So I didn't want to put something out there that wasn't really going to be too interesting or that good, or something that I just did not really like, or wasn't even, in a playable state. So therefore, I've been kind of skipping on those a little bit. I've got a few, they're a little bit more time intense for me to actually cover them. I still have like 3 or 4 of them that I feel are fairly solid, and I should do a Mischief Musing on them. One of them I actually was given a game key just so that I would actually do some, with the expectation, not the promise, but the expectation that I would do some kind of coverage on it on the channel. As is the case with a lot of like free keys that you might get being a content maker like myself. So I look forward to doing those. It's just, it may take a little time. I'm hoping to still get one in this week, though there may be some other special things coming up. I've been talking with The Zone, and those that are not familiar with The Zone, he's my bestie, and basically one of the originals of the Mischief. And we might have something coming up in the works. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, I expect to have some fun with them. Now, current Let's Plays that we have going on, for those that don't know already, we've got Craft of the Titans. We kind of skipped out a little bit last week. Kashka had some work plans. I had some work plans. Not everything worked up. We didn't get the coverage that we wanted to because we got just like swamped and tired or something like that. Maybe one of those days we might have even gotten a little bit lazy, but I mean, sometimes you just need a little bit of a break, and yeah, I think that's what happened. We, at one point, we're like, yeah, we'll record Craft of the Titans after dinner, and then anytime we make dinner and we eat dinner, we sit down, we're just like, man, I'm just exhausted from the earlier part of the day. So it happens. But we did record a whole bunch more Craft of the Titans, and at the start of it, though, I was a bit like, I don't know what we're doing right now. It's because it's been a bit since we recorded it, and then great things happened, and then even better things happened, and oh my gosh, we got some fun stuff coming up on Craft of the Titans. I tell you what, that mod pack really just kind of, as soon as you're like, at least as far as we go, as soon as you're like, oh man, this pack is just pounding me down into the ground. I can't take it anymore. Oh, it then just goes, here's a fantastic thing that you just never looked into. So things are looking up on the Craft of the Titans. I look forward to continuing with that. So you guys should see some new content coming out for that. We've got more Invasion already set up and scheduled. For those that have early access, which are the patrons that have paid for that level, probably have already seen a bunch of the Invasion that is already out there. So if you are interested in becoming a patron, or if you just want to see videos more or less, unless it's a stream's pretty much, as soon as the video's processing, it's up on the channel. But and vlogs, of course, because that's pretty much the same thing. But if you want early access to any of the content, then I do send out that access to our patrons that have access to that level. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, upcoming bit by bits. So I started out with Refined Storage. It was relatively well received. I think if anything, it got more interest from newer viewers than older subscribers, and there was a little bit of conflict. A lot of people out there are still about applied energistics, and that's fine. But this is kind of my first foray into a heavier inventory management techie mod like this, and I'm really liking it. really liking it. So you're probably going to see a bit more refined storage if it's in a mod pack that we're playing, just because I look forward to experimenting with more of the details that you can do with that, and finding out where I can, you know, report bugs or anything like that comes in, because I tend to like being able to find actually, I don't say I like finding bugs. I like it when we're able to get bugs fixed. So how's that? Because bugs are inevitable in any Minecraft modded scenario. Even regular Minecraft still has bugs. I mean, heck, you get that like stuck in the bed bug. But there's bed bugs, the mod for that. So let's see, other stuff we got coming up. But Immersive Engineering, he's been pumping out a whole bunch of stuff. It's out for 112 now, for crying out loud, which is amazing. I'm looking forward to playing some of that on all the creators. And Kashka and I are going to try and get a recording in for that this week if possible. She's got a lot of stuff going on for this whole weekend. So I don't know what we're going to be able to get accomplished at that. So one of the Let's Play series might start having a little bit of a lull for a few days there, maybe up as much as a week, maybe. But I don't know. I think I still have more Invasion stuff that I need to edit out. I need to go back in and edit those, because when we sit down and play this stuff, if I record for the 4 or 5 hours, whatever, straight that we end up playing, and then I go back and edit it, it takes forever and a day to load in those files, and then sometimes as I'm getting through, it starts getting a little bit slower and a little bit slower, because it's like such a huge file. So I've been trying to break it up, and I sometimes forget to break it up, and it's like I'll suddenly have this 2.5 hour segment, and I'm like, doggone it, why did I do that? So it kind of adds to my editing times to cut out a lot of the, like, you know, mining or lulls or things like that that aren't, you know, slow time or downtime, or just chit chat. You know, somebody's talking about their dog needs to go outside or something like that. You know, I tend to cut that stuff out. So, but yeah, I think I've got some more content for Invasion, enough to last. Not just this coming, because this coming week is already done. I think I've got enough for the following week as well. Craft of the Titans, we've got enough for at least this week and next week. And it's, what is it, all the creators. If Kashka and I can get a recording in this week, then it should at least get us one for this week, but I don't know about next week. We'll see. It all depends on what we get in. But I think that's about it. I mean, you guys, I talked to you about the Mischief Musings already. I think I keep overlooking on some of these vlogs, the past 2 of them at least, that I did not mention that we've got a Discord channel. The description should be in the description below, and down there you can find an access to it. Now, of course, patrons are going to have their own patron chat channel, but otherwise everybody else has access to pretty much most of the other channels. I mean, there are a few for just the Mischief, but it's pretty active, actually. I'm relatively impressed. I try to jump in there as often as I can. I've been a little bit more active lately, so I'm kind of happy about that. And for those that are curious, in the background, that's Guild Wars 2, one of my faves, and I do have a playlist for this game on there. I believe a couple of seasons, like a personal story and something else. Back when the channel was young, I still want to do that. You know, I've got 2 more chapters that I need to do with characters on this, but it just isn't. I gotta find the time for it. We'll see. But anyway, if you guys have any comments, you know, mods that you think are underrated, or I should at least take a look at, I appreciate that. Please put it in the description below. It's the vlogs that I really get that the comments for those from. If you put comments on other, like, bit by bits and stuff like that, I don't always do that, because I tend to go back to vlogs where people put in, like, decent suggestions and stuff like that, because there's a ton of comments that come in on a daily basis, and a lot of them are on older videos, and the way that YouTube organizes it is not very helpful. It doesn't organize it by the date that the comment was made. It organizes it by the video, and if the video is very old, the comment then goes back down the list once it's been touched once on the notifications tab. So I'm hoping one day YouTube will figure that out, that it would be best to have a chronological order of comments not just videos with comments on them. But until that day, I recommend that if you have any good suggestions or things that you'd like me to check out, please put them on the comments below. Not to say I'm going to cover it, but I like to see some things that, you know, people might not have checked out, or something that's more finished and more recent. If you're going to ask me to cover a 1.7 mod, I'm probably not going to do it. I'm looking more like 1.11.2 or 1.12 specifically, and things that are, you know, have a decent amount of content. If you know, I mean, something that's practical and fun or interesting or different or unique or not the standard. I still will be covering more of the mainstream mods, but I will also try to be covering new stuff. I mean, heck, that's how I personally, that's how I came across Embers and Astral Sorcery. When I saw some little clip of it somewhere, I immediately asked Hellfire. I was like, hey, I want to cover your stuff. And I actually am thinking about revisiting that at some point, because Astral Sorcery has changed considerably over time. Had a lot of bug fixes, had a lot of reworks and so on. I might just jump into it on some of the streams or Let's Plays that we do, and see where it leads, and then maybe do a bit by bit after that, maybe before. It all depends on when we get around to it. But yeah, don't be afraid to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this content. And don't forget to spread this mischief out to others if you think they'll enjoy this content as well. Until next time, folks, I'll see ya.